Chelsea, it's Scott. Did you get on?
Hi, Scott. This is Dr. Yalda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
Now that I got the right time, I was getting a little nervous at noon.
I know. Well, and I wasn't in my office, so I guess I didn't see your email. I just saw your email now that said that, oh, an hour early. So that's okay.
Yeah, I apologize for that. It's been a hectic week as usual.
Yeah, I bet. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and so I'll do a quick introduction, and then we'll get you started.
No problem. And I'm kind of at a disadvantage because I'm just on the phone. Okay. So hopefully everybody can bear with me on that.
Yes, and if you just want to let me know to advance to the next slide, that would be great.
Okay, no problem.
Great, thanks. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the virtual seminar series offered through the Center for Disaster Research and Education. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce Scott Mickalonis, who is the Deputy Director for Emergency Management at Montgomery County Department of Public Safety. Scott received his master's degree in emergency management from our program, and we're very pleased that he's able to share his experiences with us today. He's responsible for the management of county's comprehensive emergency management program and has served on numerous subcommittees within the Southeastern Pennsylvania Regional Task Force, including the role of project manager for the Regional Knowledge Center deployment. Scott also maintains active certification as a paramedic, firefighter, and hazardous materials technician, and regularly works as an independent consulting contractor in the emergency management field. He has worked for the Department of Public Safety for 13 years. Please join me in welcoming Scott, and we're very happy to have you with us today. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Dr. Yalda. Again, it's great to be here to come back and talk about what I did as my final practicum project for the emergency management program. As luck would have with most of us that are in the emergency management field, I'm actually sitting in my car talking to you all today via cell phone. So if the service gets scratchy, please let me know. We're actually in the middle of a search for a missing person that we're helping one of our local municipalities with, and I just happen to be down there right now. So I jumped out quick to do this, and I appreciate your patience if things get a little scratchy. So I'm just going to move on and talk about mostly how to organize and submit the portfolio for the certified emergency manager. I'm going to start with a point of notation, though. Currently, I am not certified. I will find out today. Hopefully, when I get home and the mail is there, to mail them out today as to whether or not I completed successfully the CEM. It's quite an extensive process. For if there's any of you that went through the practicum with me that are online right now, we started this project in spring of last year, I think, and I ended the practicum in May of 11. So really, it's a very comprehensive project, and I'm happy to report I'm done. I just don't know whether or not I'm certified. So that's my little caveat going into this. We can go to the next slide. A little bit about me. I started out completely non-affiliated in the emergency management world. I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology from Penn State with a background in education is where I kind of came from. I started my employment with Montgomery County 13 years ago in the emergency medical services world in the health background, and progressed through to emergency management, where I really found my love for the career. I became the deputy director for emergency management in 2007, I believe, and really have enjoyed immensely the last 5 years there. For those of you that don't know about Montgomery County in general or southeastern Pennsylvania, we're a population of 800,000 individuals. That's the third largest county in the Commonwealth. And we have a huge risk and vulnerability to natural and man-made disasters. We experienced back-to-back flooding in August and September of last year. We had snowfall at the beginning of the year, straight-line winds in June and July of last year, and then went right from the flooding into our preparations for our Limerick Generating Station, which is our nuclear power facility, for that exercise in November. So we really hit all elements of our risk in practice and in reality last year in various ways. Since I took over in 2007, we've had 6 federally declared disasters where we were able to bring money back into to the county for individuals and municipalities. 3 of them were loan declarations to the Small Business Administration for fires and flash flooding. One was the major snowstorm in February of 2010, and then the last 2 were our back-to-back flooding disasters that we got assistance for in just recently in 2011. All told, it's $20+ million in damages and money returned to the citizens and our municipalities and the local government. So that's a big deal in times like this, especially to have the success that our emergency management program has in a downturn economy, where we can bring money back in to help repair and bring the local government back to normal. As Dr. Yola said, I am a 2011 graduate of the program. I really enjoyed being in the program, and I did the CEM portfolio as my practicum project. I'm going to talk to you about and step you through about how I was able to organize myself through that project. Next slide, please. So when I sat down to think about what I was going to do for my project, I asked myself, why? Why do I want to do this? What is it that is going to benefit me for having this certification? And really, that was an easy question to answer. It's a milestone in anyone's career to get professionally certified in their background. It shows that you have the competency and you have the knowledge in your specialty area, and the ability to not only organize the project, but your abilities to manage events and to manage a program as intricate as emergency management. So that was really an easy question to answer. It graphically represents a timeline of your career, your professional development, and by that I mean if you're just starting out in the program, you're taking your independent study courses through the FEMA site. You're studying your master's or your bachelor's level education, and you're developing your personal portfolio. And this really helps to bring that into timeline and to graphically present that in a professional means. Developing a professional network with your peers, there's been so much that has come out of having the ability to develop this portfolio. just by interacting with other people and seeing what they've been able to do with their CEM packets and to take ideas and share. There's actually a group of us from work that have kind of worked independently through this at various levels, but we're able to share ideas with each other, and that's been extremely helpful in the process as well. And then, of course, the recognition. Once you get certified, you're not done. You have to continue your education in order to maintain that certification. So certainly, it's a means to kind of point you in a direction of where you need to go to stay up on the latest and greatest information in emergency management. So certainly, this is just one way to open up your eyes to how the career is evolving. Next slide, please. Looking at it from a personal standpoint, one of the things we got talking about in our practicum near the end was that you need to have a portfolio. You need to have something to show when you're going out there in the world to look for a job or to enhance your career. This is certainly the way that I saw is best to bring everything that you've done together into a group or into a nice package. So certainly it allows you to organize everything you've done throughout your career. It enhances your personal presentation. I can't say that I was ever the most organized person going through my bachelor's or my master's degree, and it helped to bring information together and to show over the last 10, 15 years what I've been able to accomplish professionally. Organization, again, same thing. A lot of this may repeat, but it's about presentation. It's about organization. It's about bringing things together in a way that you can show your personal experiences. Education. Certainly, once you graduate or once you get done or attain a certification, you're not done. It has to continue. You have to further it along, and this is just one way to show that you're doing that. And I can't say enough about professional development. I think you have to continue to immerse yourself into your career in order to maintain the high level goals that you set for yourself. And not only that, it establishes that roadmap, or where do you want to be, or what do you want to achieve 5 years from now. So, as I was putting my packet together, I was really looking into that, and really was looking forward to, or am looking forward to, the ability to develop long-range goals of where I want to be when I need to recertify 5 years from now, because that process really needs to start at the attainment of your initial certification. Next slide, please. I threw this picture on there because I thought it was kind of funny. The left-hand picture is basically how everything looked before I got started. It was a mishmash of certifications and documents that I've collected in preparation to do this for probably the last 10 or 15 years of my life, and it was thrown into a binder, no organization whatsoever. And then I looked at, right before I sent my professional packet down, I said, geez, I've been able to take all of that junk and make it into something really, really professional. And this is really what we want to talk about is, how do we get from everything all jumbled together to a really organized and professional portfolio. And I got to say, going from here, I've been in the field for quite a long time, specifically looking at emergency management for the last 5 years, and it was difficult for me to find the things to put into that portfolio to make sure it had enough meat to meet the standards that they set. The International Association, I believe, put together a really wonderful program for certification, and I didn't from day one take it very lightly. So I was probably a little harder on myself than I needed to be. But I think you sit back and you look at the things that you've done the education that you've taken in various capacities, the professional contributions that you've made to the field, and you become a little critical of yourself and what you think is presentable to a group of your peers. So once you sit down and you look at that package, it's really important that you organize yourself before you get started in the presentation of the program, and that's really the most important thing. That if I want to get one point across today, I think that organization and really pre-thinking what you're going to present is probably the key to success in this particular project. So I'm going to step you through over the next couple slides the process of how you need to do it. And really, it's flexible enough that you have the time to take that extra effort and put together a really nice packet. And they've recently changed the program a little bit to allow you to have varying levels of education and attain what's called an AEM. I believe it's an Associate Emergency Manager or Associate Emergency Manager with a little less professional contribution, a little less education, and then work your way towards the Certified Emergency Manager. Are there any questions up until this point?
I think we're good. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Scott? Scott, did
Hello?
you? Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead, please. I think we're good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, technological error, sorry.
No problem.
The process is really simple. And as a student, you can get phenomenal rates on when you join the IAEM, and I think that's really important. Even if you decide not to do the CEM or the AEM, I would join the association because it gives you the ability to connect with others throughout the world. It gives you a resource database. You can look for jobs on there. So certainly, if that's all you do that, because what I've been able to gain and take from just being a member of IAM it has been wonderful in and of itself. So that's my little plug for the association. Once you're within there, on the website's pretty easy to maneuver through. You want to request a packet of information on the CEM. Again, really simple. They don't have to send anything to you. It's all available on the website. However, you can't get to that information unless you're a member of the association. So get in there, and you'll have the log-on information that you need. You can go in and see the specific packet information, and the packet all told is probably 60 or 70 pages long. Along with that, there are PowerPoints and PDF documents that step you through each section or provide more detailed information on each section that you're required to fill out. And after the next, when we move forward here, we'll actually step through each process a little bit, and I'll explain what was difficult for me and the challenges that I had in each section as we go along. There are fees that are associated with it. This is not it's not a free certification. It's quite expensive, I believe, somewhere around the $325 range in order to do this. Again, if this is what you want to do in your profession, though, having the certification that goes along with that, with your profession, I think means a lot to employers. You need to complete your portfolio and send that in to the association and sit for a written examination. It's a 100-question multiple-choice examination. It has to be taken at an approved test site, and then you have 1 year from the time you you pass that exam to submit your portfolio and have it reviewed. So I sat for my exam in June, and here we are, February, and I'm still awaiting my my results because of how long it took me to really organize the portfolio in a way that I was comfortable with sending it in. That would be the next bullet point: submitting your credentials to the commission. Some of this is really an exercise in organization. Having everything in order, in the correct order, in the way they want you to present it is really the most important thing. And having it all in a presentable fashion that a group of your peers in the profession are going to look at is really important. And I think that's been one of the biggest things I've learned in this process. Certainly the review by the commission, they do that quarterly. The last review happened in January, so usually 3 to 4 times a year they will get together and meet to discuss the number of submissions that were taken during the last quarter. So in my case, I submitted in November, actually the day before Thanksgiving, and my packet was reviewed on January 23rd. So that's kind of the time delay you're talking about, probably the maximum time delay that you would deal with. So let's move to the next slide, please. Requirements. Again, I'm talking specifically about the CEM at this point. Lay out the requirements for that. Education, 3 years of comprehensive emergency management experience. That would be what you consider to be comprehensive emergency management experience. Have you been part of a major exercise or a disaster that you can write about? Are you part of the staff or taking your education? Again, anything that's going to immerse you in the emergency management environment, certainly I believe could be considered that experience. A 4-year degree at the bachelor's level is a requirement for the CEM now. The AEM waives that 4-year degree requirement. 3 professional references, one of which needs to be your supervisor. So if you don't get along with your supervisor, that can create a problem right then and there. But certainly, you probably, my recommendation would be to find two peers, maybe one of which who is already a CEM, that would be willing to write a letter of recommendation or a letter of reference for you, and then of course your current supervisor is a must in there. Disaster and/or emergency management experience. This section requires you to write about an experience that you've had working specifically within emergency management. That has to be whether or not you participated in a real event or an exercise where you had an identified position. So what I mean by that is if you went to observe something somewhere, you cannot use that as your experience. You physically had to sit a position maybe in an EOC or as a responder or a recovery specialist or something related where you actually played a role in the program. So in my circumstance, we had a fire down here in 2008 that I ran. That was the first real event that I ran our EOC for. So I used that experience for me as an opportunity to talk about how we've grown the program since then and how we integrated ourselves into the incident command system and into the emergency management program for that large disaster. So that is a really important section. The requirements, it's the first section that you have to deal with in the certification program, and really that's going to make the whole portfolio for you. So that's really your personal experiences in the profession. Next slide, please. Training. Training can get a little convoluted. Excuse me. you need 100 hours each of emergency management training and general management training. There are guides for you to use that are available on the IAM website as what counts towards emergency management training and what counts toward general management training. I personally use several of the FEMA independent study courses to attain the emergency management side of the training. ICS 300 and ICS 400 are good programs to utilize if you have them, because they can add up to a lot of hours out of that 100. Under the general management side, I used some of the courses that I took at Millersville in order to attain that 100 hours. And then you can use business training, career track type training under that general management. There are FEMA independent study courses that are under the general management track. The thing you have to look at is, of the 100 hours, only 25 can be in any particular topic. So you have to kind of group your trainings together, like into mitigation, into planning, into response, or recovery, and only can use a maximum of 25 hours per grouping in each one. They want you to have a well-rounded training portfolio. So total, I submitted over 100 hours in each track. That way, if they threw any of the courses out, I would still have some to make up. So consider doing that as well, just to pad your training a little bit. There are non-FEMA courses that they will approve. That would be on a case-by-case basis, and you could check the website or actually call down to there and get the approval. I took a course that was offered through my work. It was a 15-week program, and I was able to get approval to use that course as a non-FEMA approved management course, and that was certainly helpful. The documentation is extremely important here. There is a training record for each track, and then within each track there is an individual paper document that must be filled out with the course description, number of hours, when it was taken, and then you have to attach your certificate along with that. So as a recommendation, and what I did that worked very well for me, is I used Adobe PDF and created PDF documents of each training course that I took. So I had the documentation and the certificate, the FEMA certificate, or the certificate of completion, and I attached them both together, PDF'd it, and kept that as a document. That way, when it became time to print everything out, it was all right there in a nice portfolio document. It all printed out, and was really helpful for me. Documentation on these forms are extremely, I can't stress how extremely important it is to make sure that it's accurate, spelled correctly, in the right format, grammatically. To me, when you're putting together a packet of information or a packet or a portfolio about yourself, you want that to be organized and in the appropriate fashion. So that to me, that's very important. Next slide, please. Any questions about training?
Hey, Scott, this is Brian Bannon. Real quick, is there a waiver for the emergency management 100 hours for the master's degree? Because I was under the impression that they would actually waive that 100-hour emergency management requirement if you had your master's in emergency management, or if you had a bachelor's in emergency management, and then you could have to have 100 hours of general management time. Do you have any insight on that?
Yes, there is a waiver. I chose not to use it, but you can waive if you've taken the program, your master's program, within a certain time period, Brian. I don't know what that is but they do have a waiver program where you can waive them.
Okay, because I was thinking you think most of our group here, I think you really probably want to focus on getting general management might be the harder ones to get a hold of. So if you can focus, or if there's an option, you'll see on that list, sometimes they're E or G or whatever they have on that list. So if you could use it as a G, you'd want to apply it there and use your MSEM as the emergency management training requirement.
Exactly. And that in all honesty, that was why I chose to not use my degree to waive the emergency management training, because I was able to cover it in general management with some of the courses that we took. So I definitely made 100 hours of training through the various FEMA independent studies that I did. So I didn't waive it, didn't use the degree to waive that. I chose to use the courses on the general management side. So it depends on what your background is and how long you've been working to attain the varying levels of training. This is not something that you're going to do overnight. Certainly, this is going to take time. Some of the courses that I submitted, I believe they have a 10-year limit as far as what you can go back on your initial application. Some of the courses I submitted were back to 2003, 2004 when IS 100 was just starting to come out, some of those older courses. So definitely this is something that's going to be well over a long period of time to get that information. Any other questions? Okay. Looking at the next step, it'll be the next slide, the workshop, seminar, and course requirements. These are where some of the training can be collected from or delivered from. You'll see federal agencies, state and local agencies, regionally accredited universities, both 2-year and 4-year, military programs, private organizations. Again, they leave it pretty general. So if you have a pretty decent educational portfolio, certainly this will be an easy attainment for you. And again, if you choose to use your master's education, that's definitely an option that can save you a lot of time. Contributions would be the next slide. This is really the guts of the whole CEM program, and this really looks at, this is where I had to go back and say, what have I been doing for the last 10 years of my life, and look at what types of things I've done to benefit the program. There are 15 different areas. You have to do 6 of them. I believe I submitted 9 total, and I couldn't tell you what they accepted or what they didn't accept. I'm hoping to hear some more of that very shortly. They have to be substantial in nature. They cannot be something, again, that you went to observe something, or you would have participated in it or done something that has changed the program substantially for you, or something in your eyes that you did to help change the program where you are. It needs to be well documented, supporting information. This is where the bulk of your paper is going to be going to come from, and beyond the scope of everyday work environments. It used to be that it could not be on your job description. They've recently removed that from that requirement. Now it just says it has to be kind of beyond what you do every day, and to make a difference in the program. And it needs to be of consequence to the profession. It really has to have been something that you've done that's made a difference in the program. Next slide. Contribution areas, and I'll talk about each one kind of individually. Professional membership, for those of you that are in the program, that are in the Emergency Management Honor Society, that's something that you could utilize in this area. There's really a a wealth of different professional memberships out there that you could have where you're gaining information related to the profession. Kind of an easy one to get to. Professional conference attendance, here's another one. The annual IEM conference, or the state's emergency management conference that they run in the Harrisburg area every year. By attending and listening to various speakers, you can reach another one of those contribution areas. Again, you have to document what you did, what you saw. If there was a conference syllabus, that needs to be attached to this particular area. And you need to really describe what it is you learned from a particular session that you took when you were at conference. Leadership, again, a very broad area topic. For me, I was able to utilize one of the task force assignments that I had down here in southeastern Pennsylvania, and I was able to document what I did through that program where I served as a leader in the organization, and that worked out. Service, again, volunteer work is certainly eligible if you volunteer with like the Red Cross or a FOAD organization. Service work related to the profession. You did disaster assistance, cleanup work after the flooding. Again, that would be helpful. A special assignment. This is something that is over and above your everyday work. For me, in my bio, I mentioned that I was the project manager for the Regional Knowledge Center deployment. That was a web-based crisis management program that Southeast rolled out about 4 years ago now. And my job was to ensure that the project got completed, that the servers were installed, that the training occurred in all 5 counties. This was a special assignment that was given to me by the task force and my immediate supervisor. So I was able to use that particular assignment to as one of my contributions to the field. Speaking is a unique contribution. You need to have 3 different speaking engagements that are required to meet that particular contribution. I did use that one. I've presented at the statewide emergency management conference twice now, and I've done some speaking and some training engagements with the National Collegiate EMS Foundation. So I've been able to multidisciplinary speaking assignments over the last few years. Teaching. If any of you are teaching a course, you could certainly use that. If you've developed a curriculum specific to emergency management that's been instituted and taught at any level, that can be used for course development. If you've been published, if you've had an article published in any of the publications related to emergency management, that is an eligible contribution. The nice thing about IEM is there are numerous ways to get published through IAM, through their regional newsletters, through the collegiate newsletter, and really it's easy to do. You can find the information out on the website. One of the people I was working with here at our county did just that for one of his contributions. Was able to catch up with the regional newsletter and submitted an article that was published through them the very next month. Audio, visual, or interactive product. Again, if you've created a program, you were the leading individual in the creation of an audio-visual project related to the emergency management profession, you can submit that project as a contribution. Awards, honors, special recognition is pretty self-explanatory. State certification, that's going to probably impact people that work in the government levels or work at the local, volunteer at the local level for as emergency managers. the Commonwealth has a 3-tiered certification program, and if you attain your basic level or your advanced or professional certification through the Commonwealth, you can utilize that as a contribution. Legislative contact. This one's very interesting because it's a very easy contribution to attain. Simply by writing a letter or calling your local representative with a concern or something that you want to discuss with them related to emergency management or some topic that relates to preparedness, and having them reply to you with information on specific to your concern or your letter, that will count as a legislative contact. If you meet regularly with elected officials in your community to talk about emergency management issues, and it's documented, you can put that in as one of the contributions. So, although it's easy, it's also important that you interact with the elected or the political side of emergency management as a professional, because you get to know how it works when you're putting funding towards a particular project, and really that's what our legislators are working towards. And really, it's important that they know that we're in it for the protection of our community and the protection of the property and the preservation of our lifestyle. So, a good contribution, and it's kind of a simple one to attain. The final one would be conducting research. Again, at a level where a higher education level where this is taking place, a good project that might be ongoing for some of you, conducting research in a particular topic area related to emergency management. I know on our end, is Will Miner on by chance? Okay. Will worked as an intern for us last semester, and he did some research onto some water rescues that we had during the flooding, and was able to show us that 97% of our water rescues occurred within the FEMA-identified floodplain. Again, a good project that could be used towards a research contribution. So, again, this is where the crux of your information is going to come from. And this is where you have to sit back and think, is this something that I want to do? What differences have I made in the program, in the emergency management program or profession? And certainly, it's important to think about that. Next slide, please. Finally, the last section is a 1,000-word scenario-based essay that's self-written. I think anybody that's been through the Millersville program has written several papers on this very topic. The thing you have to check is make sure you reach all of the knowledge, skills, and abilities, the KSAs as they call them. There are 15 of them, and ensure that you've covered all of those KSAs within your document. So you need to support your scenario with substantive information to make sure that you support your topic and you support your problem statement. So certainly, they want to show that you've been able to research a particular topic and move forward with a solution to that problem. Finally, they need you to verify that you actually were the one that wrote it, and that's simply putting your signature on it and saying that this is my work. If you need to know what those KSAs are, I do have a list of them, but you can find that information very clearly on the website. That's one of the things that they truly hold you to. From what I understand, when they read that document, you have to make and cover so many of those KSAs. Next slide, please. The written examination, I've already covered that. 100-question multiple choice test. If you have a group of people that are going to come together to do this program together, you can petition IEM to have your location be a test site, and they'll actually send somebody out to you to conduct the test. It's a 100-question multiple choice. You do need to study for it. There are some difficult questions. They do offer a CEM preparatory course. I will tell you that it's kind of expensive. I believe in the $400 range to take the prep course. It's a one-day, I think an 8-hour-long program. And again, at an approved location. And they'll announce those test site locations on their website. We ran one here in Montgomery County last June, and I actually intend to do that and schedule that again this coming year if I can get it. The review. Once everything is together and you've put together a really nice portfolio, it gets sent in to the CEM Commission, and it's reviewed quarterly. They're reviewed by the Commission once every quarter. They provide you with divider tabs that you need to split out your portfolio to make sure it's in an organized fashion. I would suggest that you start that project early. As once everything is together, that you start to organize that portfolio. I took mine apart and put mine back together 3 or 4 different times was sure I had it done right. And again, recertification every 5 years. Next slide. Again, why did I do it? Or where am I at right now? I think I've talked about that. The waiting, it's been 6 months, 5 months now since I submitted, and I'm just getting a little nervous. But I knew when it got reviewed, and I knew that the letters are coming out today. So I'm kind of just in this holding pattern right now. What put me behind, and I missed the fall review, was of course, the hurricanes and the flooding that we experienced. I just did not get to put the portfolio together, and unfortunately work took the priority there, and I didn't get an opportunity to get it done. I made it a priority during the winter months and got it in before the next review date. In summary, this would be the next slide. This is a personal accomplishment. There's only 1,100 CEMs in the world, so to certainly be part of that process is really going to be a huge accomplishment for me. I've looked at it towards just building my professional development. That's the way I took my education, and this is the next step in that process. And really, I feel it's an important process towards building my profession and building the career of emergency management. I need to further my education. I can't sit back on my heels and wait for it to come to me. So this was certainly a process for me to do that, and it's a desire to strengthen my profession, and I want to continue to promote emergency management in a positive light, so that we can continue to grow for years to come, so that when others come out of the program, they'll have the same opportunities I did. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'll be glad to answer questions, and I do appreciate you listening to me ramble for the last 45 minutes or so. And if there's anything I can clear up, again, I'd be glad to answer those questions.
Thank you so much, Scott, for that informative talk, and thanks for sharing, obviously your path towards this, and we wish you the best. I'm certain that it will work out, and you have to let us know as soon as you hear back.
I will. I'm hoping it's today. I'm going to check the mail when I get home.
Okay, all right. So I just wanted to open it up to questions. So if anyone has any questions for Scott, please go ahead. Are there any questions? So Scott, I have a question. Last year at the EMI, there was a conversation about the importance of having the AEM, even if you're at a stage where you don't qualify for the CEM. So can you comment on that? Did you pursue that at all at any point, or can you comment on that?
I did not look at the AEM. I was in a different point in my career that I didn't believe that I believed I qualified for CEM. So I would say absolutely, for multiple reasons. The fact that if you can get certified at the associate level, it makes it easier, or you've learned kind of the basic the steps or processes now to get towards that CEM. So I believe certification at any level is certainly something that's attainable, and it helps you to work towards that next step.
Great, thank you. Because that's one of the things that we're trying to encourage all the students in the program to pursue, because they can qualify for that just by going through the program and taking the exam. So it seems to be a good first approach.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and it gets your foot in the door. It shows employers that you've taken the steps towards the professional certification, and I would certainly promote it, absolutely.
Okay, great, thank you. Are there any questions for Scott?
Hey, Scott, this is Brian Bannon again. You don't happen to be offering any opportunities for people to get those professional contributions, any volunteer opportunities or anything like that up in Montgomery, are you?
We have an internship program that we're always every semester we'll be taking one or two interns that certainly research would be an opportunity to garner from there, and then we also have a Citizen Score program where you can get those volunteer experiences through there with our CERT teams or our medical reserve corps. Things like that. So there are plenty of opportunities for certain professional contributions to be attained.
Thank you. And also, I wanted to let you know, I have monthly meetings, and actually one of the people that's in our monthly meeting circle here, Booz Allen, is a CEM commissioner, and he has told me that this virtual seminar will count towards your professional contributions. So you're good. You're already starting for your recertification.
Well, that's good. I really appreciate that, and if I'm hoping that I get good news this afternoon so that I can begin towards my recertification.
Good luck.
Well, that's great news. Thank you for sharing that, Brian. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, I want to say thank you again to Scott, and we greatly appreciate that your willingness to talk with us, and also under your circumstances of sort of being on the job and sitting in your car. So we greatly appreciate it. And again, thanks for everyone that has joined us today, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you all, and I do appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.